Public debate heats up on public board appointments, government ban imposed on chicken imports from the US, and hundreds of university students attend Morris in St. Kitts. Welcome to the WINN TV News. I am Chantel Rochester. A recent commentary from Queen's Counsel Charles Wilkin is causing hot public debate on the airways. In a commentary on the appointments of directors to public boards, Mr. Wilkin called for a break in the tradition of partisan appointments.
The board of a statutory corporation is entrusted with power and publicly owned assets and charged with operating the relevant enterprise or service in accordance with the empowering statute and the national interest. Thus, while cabinet or the minister may appoint the board and dictate policy, directors are required to exercise their own judgment in implementing the policy. If that were not the case, there would be no need for a board. In other words, a board is not a rubber stamp. In the case of a government-owned or controlled company, the duty of the director is owed to the company as a whole and not to the government or any minister. Their duty is owed to all 2,000 plus shareholders and to the bank's thousands of depositors, not just the government.
He also identified the practice of the chairman of the board operating like a czar.
The chairman may have duties assigned to him or her by the statute or the articles of a company over and above his or her duties as a director. The board may assign additional duties to him or her. If that is not the case, then the chairman has no greater powers than another director. I am constrained to make those statements because the culture has developed in respect of public boards that the chairman is the grand chief and has power to control the board and to run the entity. That is an unfortunate culture and has contributed to political interference and the lack of independence of many public boards. I am not casting aspersions on any particular chair of a public board.
And in a developing story, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris has announced that VAT value-added tax will be removed from food, medicines and funeral expenses effective April 7, 2015.
Effective April 7, 2015, VAT on all food in St. Kitts and Nevis will end. Not only will this ease the tax burden on families in our federation, it will stimulate economic activity, which will create employment opportunities for many. Team Unity promised a better way. We promise prosperity for all, and this initiative represents a fresh start on that new journey. We will deliver on our commitment to relieve our people of the burden of VAT on essential items like medicines and funeral expenses. These will take effect also from April 7, 2015. Our priority will always be to ensure prosperity for all.
St. Kitts and Nevis has imposed a temporary ban on the importation of poultry and poultry products from several U.S. states.
A government statement says the action has been taken in light of the current outbreak of bird flu, pathogenic avian influenza or H5N8 in Oregon, and the potential of the disease to cause significant mortality in both domestic and wild birds, which may translate into significant economic losses. The Department of Agriculture in Basté says the importation restrictions cover Oregon and its bordering states of Washington, Idaho, Nevada, and California. The ban is expected to remain in effect for 3 months. According to agricultural officials, the restrictions are necessary to minimize the introduction of the bird flu virus into the Federation, where over 50,000 birds would be at risk. The St. Kitts and Nevis decision follows similar action taken by Jamaica last week. Kingston imposed an immediate ban on the importation of poultry products from parts of North America arising from the outbreak of bird flu in sections of the U.S. and Canada. The Agriculture Minister said the ban restricts the importation of all poultry and poultry products and byproducts not fully cooked, hatching eggs, and raw pet foods. Jamaican officials said there was no immediate food safety risk and the consumption of properly cooked poultry meat and poultry products remains safe. Jamaican officials said there was no immediate food safety risk and the consumption of properly cooked poultry meat and poultry products remains safe.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
WINN FM's mission is to contribute meaningfully to the information, awareness, and the development of our nation and the region through the building of educated and informed communities. WINN FM faces the issues squarely, without shying away from controversy, while striving continuously to provide balanced, responsible reporting.
Better music, better talk, better radio. 98.9 WINN FM.
Welcome back. As Caribbean leaders prepare for their April 9 summit with the U.S. President Barack Obama, questions are being raised about the region's agenda for relations with the world's largest economy and most powerful nation. Clive Backus has more.
Assistant Secretary General Albert Ramdin of the 35-Nation Organization of American States, OAS, was asked to share his perspective on regional preparations for the event.
Whether I see a plan, I don't see a comprehensive plan. At least from where I stand and from what I see elements of a plan. I see the topics that need to be addressed. I don't see the plan. I was at the meeting, the so-called Caribbean Summit on Energy, with Vice President Biden a couple of months ago in Washington, D.C., in the presence of several prime ministers and foreign ministers and ministers of energy, in the presence of the international organizations. It was a good conversation, but as I said before, it's not a conversation that comes. It's the outcome that has to come. And I did not leave that meeting with a sense that we have agreed on something which will be helpful. So I hope that this meeting doesn't result in the same. The best way to succeed, in my view, in multilateral diplomacy and bilateral diplomacy, in this case between CARICOM as a group and the United States as an important trading partner and close to the Caribbean basin, is to agree on a mutual agenda.
And finally, on the WINN TV News, hundreds of university and college students from Latin America and the Caribbean are in St. Kitts and Nevis to participate in the 33rd Annual Model Assembly of the Organization of American States, also known as the MOAS. WINN TV spoke to some of the students at the MOAS opening on Tuesday at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort.
My name is Vladimir Boudou. I'm from the Institute of International Relations at the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine, Trinidad.
My name is Rondell Keller. I'm from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus.
I am Anthony Philip Spencer, and I'm also from the Institute of International Relations, University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, Trinidad.
I am Carissa Roberts from St. Kitts, a member of SCANIPER, and I am the Secretary General for the MODU OS in St. Kitts.
Was this the first time for each of you to participate here at the MOAS?
Yeah, this is our first time participating as well as being in St. Kitts.
Oh, well, I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, definitely.
What are your anticipations for this assembly?
We really actually hope to learn a lot from it. I think it's a great learning experience to have because in these situations, especially at the multilateral level, it's important to have experience in the process and the procedures because when you go out there to represent your country, as a lot of young people have those ambitions, it's important to understand how things are done, and that way you are better placed and in a better position to contribute to the international community.
Well, for me, I'm happy to be here because you get some diplomatic experience, and if you fumble, it's not a big deal, but over the official level, if you fumble, it might be a big deal. And this experience allows us to prepare ourselves before we go out into the so-called dog-eat-dog world. Yeah.
Similar to what Vladimir and Rondell have both said, just to gain some practical experience and really put into practice, I guess, what we study, as students of IR. Put that into practice, diplomatic practice, diplomatic, I guess, discussions and critical thinking, debating, those kinds of skills. So it's a really good opportunity to develop and sharpen some skills.
Well, for me personally, it will help everyone here to at least gain some knowledge about what is done at the OS, because I think even though we are here participating, some persons do not know exactly what the OS does, and it will help you to gain practical experience and how to have debates on an international level where all the 34 member states is concerned.
To end the WINN TV News, a look again at the headlines. Public debate heats up on public board appointments, and government ban imposed on chicken imports from the U.S. You are watching the WINN TV News. I am Chantal Rochester.